and we welcome you to a hopefully not too brief episode of the 2K Weekly Podcast. We are starting a lot later than expected due to difficulties outside of our control, but also we present you one of the ugliest games I think I've ever seen. Good lord. I'm Antoine Joy 101. Joining alongside me is Danny V.
Howdy.
We are live from Cybertron as the Autobots and Decepticons get set to clash. I like how the logo is covering up that guy's name.
Hmm.
But how are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing pretty alright.
We're gonna try going through this fast because I got a lot of things got to work on for not only next week's show but other stuff I'm working on. Our top stories of week 3. How about Alabama completely shutting down Oklahoma State in Stillwater? Temple getting an upset win over Oklahoma to improve to 3-0. Texas, number 9 in the country, they win probably one of the games of the year so far with their double overtime win over Nebraska. Tulane falling on the road in Ames to Iowa State. An Iowa State squad who looks rejuvenated, who looks invigorated, who looks competitive for once. And we have once again the return of the spoiler makers stealing the game against Notre Dame. Another ranked win for Purdue puts them at 3-0 on the season. And we're going to get things started with the game of the week you saw on Saturday. Of all of the games we simmed and the ones we didn't sim, we definitely chose this one to go to. Alabama started trailing. They were down 7-0. And then they tied the game and they didn't trail ever since. They, at a point, were leading 28-7. The final score ended up being 28-14. Don't let that final score fool you. They were in control nearly this whole football game. It was a game so lopsided and soul crushing that I don't even have any notes for it. Danny, did you have any takeaways?
My only notes is Alabama looks like a great team and a national title contender.
Absolutely. This was a huge win for sure. I don't want to downplay that incredible performance for Alabama's defense, absolutely stifling any chance we got. But it feels a lot like a letdown after last week's clash with them in Tuscaloosa against Ohio State. We had an all-timer go to overtime. And meanwhile, it was pretty much done from the get-go. The exact opposite happened on Friday. You were simming these games. You want to take us through some of these?
Yeah, I like to call this the Friday Fun Day because, man, this Friday was just a spectacle of offense. First, we had North Carolina, of course, beating Kennesaw State. That's not out of the usual. Yeah, it was by multiple scores, but it wasn't too bad. Like, not too unrealistic in a sense. But then William and Mary played against Colgate. Do you want to read the cast, the files for that game?
What was that?
Because you want to read everyone the final score of William and Mary against Colgate.
I don't have that on my notes. It was 85-12 was the final.
Yeah. Colgate was completely crushed by William and Mary. Their
Demolished.
offense was slinging on cylinders.
A lot
And
of
then they had a
flashes.
rivalry. They had a rivalry between James Madison and Villanova. Great rivalry, of course. Great matchups, especially for Friday night games. James Madison did go up to an early lead, but then Villanova came from behind and took the win. Next, we had Sam Houston playing against Houston. Houston 3-0 in the season right now. It was their City Connect uniforms, of course, the Oilers uniforms. Great matchup, of course. Good win for Houston. Sam Houston, good showing. And then I feel like we had the game of the week right here. Penn went to Chicago. You might think it's nothing. Penn is still winless, just like most of the Ivy League. Chicago, it's not an Ohio State, not a Penn State, not a Michigan, of course.
It's not going to be someone that commands attention.
It was sort of just, yeah.
That's why they're playing on Friday night.
How would I tell you? Yeah, on Peacock. Then Penn scores 61 points. You might think they might have won the game.
In
No,
any other
Chicago-
world, they would have won the game.
Yeah, but Chicago scores 64.
And we didn't even go to overtime. This was a regulation score.
And it could have gone to overtime if Penn made a 10-yard field goal.
From the goal line, they were kicking.
Yeah, it was basically a chip shot field goal. They could have done it.
And
And
they
they
missed.
missed.
All the pressure in the world. We have one more from this Friday game on the actual notes. Sam Houston and Houston. Before we get to that, though, Chicago 3-0. I was going to have a segment in this about conference schedule, about conference previews now that the preseason is done, but we're gonna have to save that till next week. Meanwhile, let's talk about that Sam Houston game.
Yeah. So for Sam Houston against Houston, it of course was a pretty good matchup by all means. But yeah, sure, it's a Power 4 team hosting a Group 5 team. Who, so what? It was alright so far. Houston, of course, came out the door slinging. They were faster, much better. They first got up to half and they won. They were ahead 31-21, so not too bad of a deficit. But then they just pulled away, kept on scoring.
Is today the 15th?
Great uniform. Yes.
Yeah. Happy 10th anniversary to Undertale, by the way. That's unrelated to anything, but I was trying to remember because I thought it was a Friday the 13th, but no, it wouldn't have been. Let's go to Saturday's games. Forgive me, I'm gonna do these out of order as I have them in the sheet, but we're gonna start with that Big 12 matchup. Number 9 Texas taking on a team I like moving forward to the Big 12, potentially being a competitor in Nebraska. That game ended 44-41, double overtime. Danny, you simmed this one. Take us through it.
Yeah, Nebraska, of course, came in having hopes. It's actually a rivalry game, which I didn't know, but good enough. Fun matchup, of course, Texas. Big win against Notre Dame. Nebraska coming out for bye week. It was in Austin, prime time, so you wouldn't expect it to be too bad. You would expect a competitive, like a first half, and then Texas would just pull away. No, Nebraska stayed in. The final score was 44-41, with them going to double overtime, which is crazy. And of course, the main reason why they went to double reason on how they won overtime is because Texas, they scored a field goal. Nebraska tried lining up for it, and then it was missed field goal.
It's been an epidemic after last year. They're seemingly making these every single time. It was getting automatic. Someone's cranked down the accuracy, I think. Let's move back to the top of the sheet. How about SMU 2013 over Florida State? Anything that you take away from this matchup? Now that Florida State's 1-2 and SMU is 2-1.
SMU is doing better than last season because last season they were like 3-9 or something like that.
They struggled.
So
Pac-12 is not the right fit.
Yeah, but now they're in the Big 12 local conference, and now they are willing to play.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 2013, what a year!
I'm disappointed in Florida State. They've gotten to a rough start. After their dominant win over Mercer, we were expecting bigger things from them, but they've dropped 2 straight to Georgia and now to SMU. Entering that conference schedule, it looks like they're going to have to be playing catch-up to teams in their division. Their next game is against Maryland, which could be tricky. Michigan State beat Maryland last week, and they get a win over a then unbeaten Western Michigan, 37-30 in East Lansing. Sparty 3-0. Western 2-1. I still like Western Michigan as my favorites to win the MAC at this point, but Danny, your thoughts?
Michigan State's playing really well. I'm glad they're performing at a high enough level. It was a close game, but they are at least able to win it.
about Georgia getting taken to the brink by Vandy? 24-20 the final score. Georgia gets the win. The number 24 Dogs are 2-1 as they enter conference play in a few weeks. Danny?
Yeah, Georgia, of course, still trying to prove that they are still one of the top dogs in the SEC. So good job for the Bulldogs for getting a good win, especially against a Vanderbilt team that can be a bit tricky at times.
Speaking of trap games, Iowa State was definitely a trap game for number 15 Tulane. And then some, 40-21 the final. Iowa State not only winning but demolishing, disestablishing, deconstructing Tulane throughout this one. ISU starting the season 2-1. Now with the ranked win on their belts, this is going to be a different Iowa State team than we've seen in years past, Danny.
Yeah, Iowa State's, of course, been playing really well, and Tulane's been underperforming a lot because, as SEC champions, you would expect them to be at the top, be highly ranked, competing against everyone, and here they are barely only winning once and just failing other times. So disappointing for Tulane.
Wisconsin had a scare. They almost lost to Marshall. The Thundering Herd followed 2-1, but Wisconsin 3-0. 24-21 the win. Whiskey looks vulnerable. A potential upset in the future may be in front of the Badgers. Danny?
It's a maybe. Marshall's always been a tough team to play against. Doesn't matter which conference you're in. So, of course, it might just be a jump scare team. Maybe something to get Wisconsin back on their feet. Give them a little taste of reality.
You always have to have one. We thought that was going to be Temple for Oklahoma. However, Temple took it to the next level. They won 31-27 over the Sooners. And Temple starting the season 3-0, they may no longer trying to be hiding the fact that they're trying to contend for the Big East. They might be up in front, an actual favorite, which is something we haven't said about Temple in a long time, if ever. Danny?
Yeah, Temple, they are proving really well and still showing they are still a competitor. Oklahoma, kind of a bit of a shocker. Wouldn't have expected them to lose that bad.
Don't look now, West Virginia, with the 25-24 win over TCU. I believe they're undefeated, correct, Danny?
West Virginia is they're 2-1.
West Virginia starting off 2-1 with strong wins against TCU. They've only played power conference teams, and they have wins against Tennessee and TCU now on their belt. Mississippi State is 3-0, though. They got a win over Memphis in Liberty Stadium. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great matchup, especially between these two regional teams, which is not really something you really see a lot from SEC teams against teams who aren't in their same level. So definitely great win for Mississippi State, especially when they've been struggling for the last few seasons. So they need as many wins as they can.
A matchup between two teams who beat Dave's show this season. Arizona State rumbling. They got Kolafev back in their backfield. 34-28 the final. They beat Florida at home, and the Sun Devils are 3-0. Danny?
Yeah, Arizona State, they're still really performing well, surprisingly. Especially with how tough a schedule they have. Like, yeah, sure, Northern Arizona's not the best, but they got the beat against Florida and a rivalry game against Dave's show, so looking bright for the Sun Devils.
And we'll wrap out West after their loss to Stanford. San Jose State gets another win, 34-21 over Air Force. Will this be enough to stop their skid on the rankings, Danny?
I would think so just for now. I mean, granted, the game was getting a bit closer for a little bit until they had to pull away at the end. So who knows in the future, especially when they have a lot of big games coming up. So
And I mean, we may
really
as well
think that
ask.
might be skidding a little.
We may as well ask this now that we have the time, or since we're about to have the time. I didn't have time for full conference breakdowns, but I was going to break down each of the power conferences and then talk about a list of BCS busters. Is San Jose State even still the favorite in the Mountain West, do you think?
Yes.
Welcome, Pig Bear. I didn't even know you could come in there.
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Elaborate. Why don't you elaborate since you just got in here?
Yeah, you got me guessing it's Hawaii, but I'm not sold on the Rainbow Warriors as much as I'm sold on San Jose State.
All right, Danny.
I'm a bit conflicted on it because I don't really think so at this point. They look kind of vulnerable compared to other teams in their own conference because you got teams like New Mexico State who's performing really well. Colin Payton's doing well. Of course, Eastern Washington did have their first loss, and Nevada's still doing well. So the Mountain West is looking pretty tough this year. And even some of the teams who haven't found that big win yet, like Idaho, UNLV, they're still competitive, and Wyoming just beat a Power 5 team. So
I think
who
right
knows?
now I have 3 teams circled on my calendar or circled on my schedule as the top dogs in the conference moving forward, and 2 of them play in a week. My top 3 right now are Nevada, Wyoming, and New Mexico State. Nevada is still unbeaten, as is New Mexico State. Wyoming only has the 1 loss to Texas Tech. They just dismantled Colorado State on the road. I like Wyoming as a dark horse in the conference, and I think that Nevada New Mexico State, the matchup we're going to see in a week or so's time, is going to be everything for the Mountain West. But anyway, Pig Bear, I had a whole thing planned, but we had to scrap it, so we're going to do a shorter show today.
Okay. So
And-
sorry for being late. Do they know what game we're going to yet?
We do.
Not yet.
We haven't told it yet, but
Do they don't know? Okay, good. Just making sure.
Okay. We're gonna go to our
It's gonna be
top.
awesome.
We're gonna go to our top 25 now, and you're gonna start noticing an interesting pattern, which made us choosing game of the week really hard this week. As we're gonna talk about here, Michigan starts off again number 1. They haven't changed. Now they have Oregon and Clemson at 2 and 3. Our top 3 has remained unmoved.
Imagine Clemson actually being ranked, guys.
That's crazy. Michigan is off next week. Oregon has Fresno State at home. Clemson has Pig Bear's own Blue Ridge at home. Up a spot from last week with their win over Oklahoma State. I would say maybe not high enough for such a dominant win against the top 10 team. Alabama is now number 4. They are off next week. Number 5, Georgia Tech. They drop a spot behind Alabama. Down to number 4. Or down from number 4 to number 5. They played Northeastern, got a win. They are on bye next week. Number 6, Texas. I believe our biggest riser, actually. Only jumping 3 spots. Not a lot of movement last week. At least in the top 10 for sure. They beat Nebraska. They get UTSA coming up. Ohio State stays put at number 7. They play Northern Illinois next week. Always a scary team to play. Oklahoma State fell 2 spots to number 8 after their loss to Alabama. They have a road matchup in Provo against BYU coming up. Utah were off last week. They're number 9. They play Arizona in a Pac-12 championship rematch on Saturday. LSU is up 1 spot into the top 10 for the first time since 2023. They are back. They beat South Carolina on the road, and now they head back home to play Northwestern State. Dropping a spot out of the top 10 is Cincinnati. They play Pittsburgh at home in what could be a fun game. Remember, they gave Clemson all they could handle just 2 weeks ago.
Rivalry game.
Rivalry. 2 Pac-12 teams back-to-back who got wins. USC and Boise State are number 12 and 13. They are both on bye. Dropping 2 spots after their loss to Purdue are Notre Dame, who are 2 and 2 on the year. Thankfully, they get a much-needed bye to recoup. Number 15, Kansas State jumps a spot
Notre
after.
Dame with 2 losses being ranked.
To be fair, this Notre Dame has 2 wins.
Okay, fair. Yeah, to be fair. The 4th wall is being broken tonight. Sorry about that, guys.
Keep on breaking.
When has that ever stopped us? As I say, number 15, Kansas
Never.
State up 1 spot from last week. They got the win over Colorado College. They head to Nebraska in a Big 12 blockbuster. Number 16 is actually our highest riser. Correcting an error I made earlier. FAU. At the highest ranking they've ever been in program history. Just stealthily doing so with a win over Western Carolina. They have a bye this week. UCF unmoved from last week. They
Got 'em
play
out.
East Carolina, and they have the trap game to end all trap games. They play Dave Show on the road on Friday night. Number 18 is Washington. They're 2-0 on the year. They have a bye week. They had a bye week last week. They play Eastern Washington at home this week. Michigan State up 2 spots at 19. They play Iowa coming up. And number 20 up 2 is Kansas. After their bye, they get Lindenwood out of the FCS.
Lindenwood's a frisky team.
New to the top 25 and finally ranked after all this time is Louisville, who are 3-0. They got a win over Georgetown. They are off this week. Down 7 spots is our biggest faller. Tulane falls all the way to 22 after they lost to Iowa State. They have a bye, which means they might be dropping out of the top 25 should teams below them win. Georgia up 1 from last week is number 23. They beat Vanderbilt. They have a bye. Number 24, also new to the top 25, is Wisconsin. Just scraping in after their win over Marshall. They play William and Mary next week. Look out. And number 25 at 1-2, getting their first win of the year over Abilene Christian last week was Texas A&M. They have a bye. So for you who are keeping track, that's 11 of the top 25 teams will not be playing this week. If you count the 2 that are playing FCS squads in Clemson and Kansas, over half of the top 25 essentially has a tune-up week. That's what made it difficult to choose game of the week this week. I should mention the teams who dropped out. Oklahoma after their loss to Temple, and San Jose State, even after their win to Air Force, fell out of the top 25. The other teams receiving votes for rankings are Oklahoma, William and Mary, Oregon State, Nebraska, San Jose State, Hawaii, Purdue, Temple, Florida State, Penn State, and Texas State. Your thoughts on this top 25, Danny?
Well, first, top 25 without a Mountain West team.
This is the first time in
Shocker.
2KU history, or at least since we started doing streams, that we have not had a Mountain West team ranked.
I definitely think some teams should have dropped more because Texas A&M getting their first win kind of comical. Tulane 1-2, okay, 1 win against Harvard. Kind of shocking on Alabama being number 4. I thought it'd be number 3.
I thought they would have been ahead of Clemson. Clemson has yet to have a big prove-it game. I think
They play a real program like Blue Ridge this week, so
we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Their best game on the schedule so far has been that close win against Pitt. Looking down the rest of this top 25, I feel like Notre Dame could have fallen a lot more after their loss to Purdue. They probably will fall more since they have the bye. I'm surprised at how high FAU is, though I'm also not that surprised since they have 2 ranked wins. But it's against teams that are looking a little suspect as the year goes on, Tulane and UCF. I'm still holding it. That Dave Show game is going to be a trap game. Meanwhile, for teams that I'm surprised that are not in, I'm still riding with Oregon State. I'm surprised they haven't gotten much backing beyond that. William and Mary, I feel like I was a big denier of William and Mary. I thought they were only here for the mathematical anomaly, and then they put 85 up on an FBS team in Colgate, and I'm thinking there might be something there. That team can shut me up if they head into Camp Randall and somehow beat a ranked Wisconsin. It wouldn't be the craziest upset in 2K history for Wisconsin, right, St. John's?
Yeah.
Pig Bear, any thoughts on the top 25?
Again, we have the tune-up week, and it's very interesting to see where we're going for Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes it next week perfect for conference previews because everyone's got a tune-up and stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good idea. Or, not a good idea. We didn't come up with it. Let's talk about our games of the week already. We don't have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a very short episode. And starting on Friday, we already mentioned it, the Battle for Orlando, UCF, heads on the road. Doesn't have to drive very far, staying in town. But they get the ACC zone. Dave Show University Truckers. There it is. UCF 2.5 point favorites on the road. I pick Dave Show at home against the Truckers against the Knights any day. Dave Show beat UCF in Orlando to end their lengthy winning streak. That was the first of a few losses that UCF would have that season. I think this is where the Knights keep slipping. I think they have this game, and I think they're gonna have problems with Cincinnati and Louisville also this year. I like Dave Show to win this one. Danny?
Give me UCF to win this one. I think they're not gonna. They remember last season. They're probably gonna come in with a little revenge, a little chip on their shoulder.
Pig Bear?
I agree with the trap game aspect, but I also agree that they won't revenge. I mean, UCF.
Moving to Saturday. No ranked matchups, but that doesn't mean there's no matchups with ranked teams involved. We'll start with Utah. Number 9 in the country. They host Arizona in a Pac-12 championship rematch. Utah, 8.5-point favorites in this one. Give me the Utes to win. Danny?
Give me the Utes as well. It's in Salt Lake, and it's going to be a pretty good win. And Arizona's not doing that well this season.
Arizona struggled. Utah is well rested. I like the Utes. Pig Bear?
Give me the Utes. 2 Utes.
Some interesting fringe teams facing off as Texas Tech heads to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. Oh, by the way, Danny, it's Starkville that they're in. Mississippi State's not a town. I just noticed that on the sheet. Mississippi State, the 3.5-point favorites in this one, but I like Texas Tech on the road. Give me the Red Raiders. Danny?
The Cowboys will be coming in loud. Give me the Bulldogs.
Big Bear.
Give me Mississippi State.
I mentioned this as a potential trap game earlier. Florida State heads to College Park to take on Maryland. I saw Maryland's one loss against Michigan State. They played a lot better than I would give them credit for. I think Maryland is a potential dark horse in the same way that Wake Forest was in the ACC last season or Duke was the year before. Give me Maryland in an upset. Danny?
It's going to be but give me Maryland as well. They're always a chippy team. They always love to pull off a little upset here and there. And I think this might be the game where they pull it off.
Big Bear?
Just for the sake of parity, give me Florida State.
Third Saturday in September. Not as good as third Saturday in October, but still an important matchup for Tennessee. They take on Florida in Knoxville. Neyland Stadium will be rocking. The Vols are the favorites in this one. Florida coming off that loss. Give me Tennessee to right the ship after they started the year with the loss, Danny.
Give me Tennessee as well. They're looking for that big signature win, and Florida is just the perfect target for that.
Big Bear?
Give me Tennessee.
River City rivalry. Pitt and Cincinnati. Some good old AFC North football. The Pitt Panthers head to Nippert Stadium. Bearcats, heavy favorites, number 11 in the country. But Pitt gave the Clemson Tigers all they could handle when they went up to Heinz Field. I like Cincinnati to win, but Pitt will flash that grit and tenacity that they showed against Clemson. Danny?
Yeah, it's gonna be a big fun game, but give me the Bengals to win this one.
Bearcats. Wrong league. Pig Bear?
Give me the Bearcats win.
Give me the Steelers going to Cincy and getting the upset.
Ooh. From the Pitt Panthers to Cincy Bearcats, we move out to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by the NFL. Nebraska. Nebraska Cornhuskers hosting number 15 Kansas State. Apparently a rivalry, in the same way every Big 8 school had a rivalry with each other. K-State, the underdogs, even though they're the ranked team heading to Lincoln, I like the Huskers to right the ship after their first loss of the year. And I think that's going to be the push they need to get into the top 25. Danny?
With how close Nebraska played against Texas, and that is also the blackout game for Nebraska, big sold-out Memorial Stadium, give me the Cornhuskers to win.
Big Bear?
Yeah, give me the Cornhuskers to win also.
Villanova is 3-0 and undefeated on the year. I don't expect this to be a 2009 year for them where they shock everybody, somehow win the Big East, and make a Fiesta Bowl appearance. However, I expect them to play well against 2-1 West Virginia at least. They are heading into Morgantown, though. I like West Virginia to win and improve to 3-1 to start the year. Danny?
Country roads take me home to the place I belong. Not so fast, my friend. Give me
Villanova. It fits.
Philadelphia.
Big Bear.
Give me the Mountaineers. Give me the Mountaineers big.
Staying in the Big East. Potential Big East North championship between Temple and Rutgers. Owls are undefeated. A win against Rutgers would definitely put them in top 25 talks full time. Meanwhile, Rutgers trying to get back into the top spots of the Big East. I like Temple on the road to get to 4-0. Danny?
Yeah, give me Temple to win this one also. They're playing really well, and I think they could get this win.
Big Bear.
Give me Temple.
The background noise. We're about to finish here. 2KU Game of the Week. And what a matchup. If you were to tell us that when we started this series that our highlight game would be William and Mary and Wisconsin, we would have laughed in your face. But it was really the perfect storm. We're heading to Camp Randall as the William and Mary tribe will play as huge underdogs. They are 12.5-point dogs against the number 24 Badgers. But William and Mary put up 12.5 points and then some against Colgate. This is one of the highest scoring teams in the nation heading to Wisconsin. And this was Wisconsin who last week struggled against Marshall. There's also Wisconsin who beat a top 5 Utah school. It's going to be one of the most bizarre. Speaking of bizarre, what a touchdown there. It's going to be one of the most bizarre matchups we've ever had on the 2KU. William Mary and Wisconsin. Part of me just wants to go with the sicko pick and pick William and Mary. But I got to be pragmatic about these things. I like Wisconsin to make the Big Ten championship game at the end of the year. Give me Whiskey to win the game.
It's going to be loud, and it's going to jump around. Give me Wisconsin and win this one close, like really close.
Big Bear?
If y'all could see me and see what I'm doing right now. Go Tribe.
You're picking the dog. All right, show the camera. Show the camera. I don't know what specifically that is, but
Camera should be on, right?
yeah, we're on.
Yep.
I don't know what you're doing right now, but
I'm picking the Tribe.
Picking the Tribe. Where are you?
In
Good
my
answer.
dorm. Well, the bottom floor.
Well, Pig Bear's in the back room, so we'll see you on Saturday. He'll be the one actually streaming the game. Saturday night, William and Mary, Wisconsin. I don't know if Dave will be here Friday for the UCF Dave show matchup, but
I will not.
I might be camping, so you might have to do that during the week.
okay.
All right.
I work Wednesdays and Fridays, so I'm gonna be out Tuesday night.
Oh, well, we'll be fine. We can do that Thursday.
All right, sure. But
We can do it Thursday.
that'll do it for us here. Thank you all so much
Just
for
in
watching
case.
this
I'm not sure if
game.
it's camping this week or next week.
Whatever Cybertron is doing. Actually, probably a better game than we had between Alabama and Oklahoma State. But we'll see William Mary, Wisconsin next week. Hopefully, it's a better game than we had last week. That'll do it for us here. So long from the 2KU.